let's talk about the review bombing because the review bombing is pretty bad. Pretty bad, ladies and gentlemen. The review bombing for Slay the Spire is no bueno, right? And the thing is, this has happened before. If you guys are not aware of that, this has happened before. Slay the Spire 2, a video game that is in early access right now, is getting review bombed by the Chinese. The reason why it's getting review bombed by the Chinese, well, there's multiple reasons. But most people, for the most part, understand that it seems to be because the game is getting some updates to it that people just flat out don't like. Right? The Slay the Spire 2 developers initially during the first review bombing, they had nerfed the game big time. They nerfed some of the more popular builds, some of the more popular cards and combinations. They nerfed a lot of it as they're trying to balance the game, and they got review bombed. And they ended up walking back the changes, right? Because of the review bomb. Why they did that, I don't know. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't walk back your balancing changes because you're getting review bombed by the Chinese or anybody for that matter. Because what you do is you now set yourself up, okay? You set yourself up where any balance changes that you make are going to immediately lead to review bombing because people are going to think that it's going to work again, right? You've already told them that it works once. And now the people are going to realize it might work again. But in any case, Slay the Spire 2 is being review bombed. So let's talk about it, let's figure out what's going on. It's being review bombed again, leading to the game's Steam score rating dropping all the way down to mixed. Slay the Spire 2 is the long-awaited sequel to one of the most beloved and popular deck-building roguelites of all time, and it enjoyed an overwhelmingly positive review rating on Steam early on. Most new updates have brought with them a negative sentiment from the players, however. Slay the Spire 2 blew up instantly, basically immediately upon release, with early adopters praising the amount of available content, game balancing, new characters, and all new features like the 4-player co-op multiplayer mode. Slay the Spire 2's art style is a huge upgrade on the original 2, which is bound to have drawn many players in. As a result, the game set a new concurrent player count for roguelites on Steam, with 570-some-odd thousand players playing the game, beating out even Edmund McMillan's Bugenics and even the popular Hades 2. After Slay the Spire 2's launch in March, they reverted many of the previously unpopular balance changes. Things were looking up for the developer Megacrit. That trend is not set to continue, though, as update 0.1032 is once again the target of a review bombing. The recent patch, insert fictional patch name, etc., the Harbinger update, constitutes commercial fraud. Says one of the recent reviews, the developers are not iterating, they are arrogantly eviscerating the game, with a disgusting, condescending attitude of teaching the player how to have fun. They have completely gutted the core archetypes I spent hundreds of hours mastering. Guys, right off the bat, I just want to make it very clear, okay? I don't like when things get nerfed, okay? I don't think anybody likes when things get nerfed. But you're not going to sit here and you're not going to pretend as if you didn't buy an early access video game that is going to go through multiple changes, multiple balance patches. You're not going to sit here and complain about spending hundreds of hours in an early access video game as if you're not understanding that you're not playing an early access video game. Like, you're playing an early access video game, brother. This is why you don't fall in love with an early access game. This is why I don't personally play usually early access video games. I refuse. There's a reason why I stopped playing No Rest for the Wicked. It's not because I wasn't having fun. It's because I was having too much fun and I wanted to stop. Because I don't want to have a preconceived notion about the game before the 1.0 release, which is going to be, mostly the semi-final version of the game. I don't want to do that, right? That's just me. That's how I am, right? So I don't want to go through that and be like this person that spends hundreds of hours in the game, and then whatever they're having fun with gets nerfs, gets changed, whatever, and now they're on Steam losing their shit to the point where they're trying to essentially make it seem as if this is somehow... What do they call it? They called it where is it? They called it commercial fraud. Like, I don't want to be that guy to go on Steam and be like, you guys are ripping us off. You guys are false advertising. Brother, you're playing an early access game, my guy. Let's relax, okay? If you want to bitch like this, you could bitch like this in the 1.0 release, because if they do it then you have a little bit of a reason. but they're going through early access to try to, patch the game, balance the game, and try to make it something that is, their final vision, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, this is a hostile. Oh, this is the reviewer's self-translated piece of text. It's worth noting with the original having been posted in Chinese. This is a hostile, gutted shell of what was promised. I am genuinely nauseated by every minute I have spent with the build of the game. The reviewer concludes, damn, bro, you take this real serious. Real serious. This man said, you make me nauseous. What the fuck? You make me sick. You make me nauseous. I want to just look at you and vomit on your face. The specific update that caused such a massively negative community sentiment consists of a sum total of a number of beta branch builds from Slay the Spire 2's March and April updates. Trust the process, Mega Crit requested as part of the update overview blog post on Steam. In the blog, the developer specifically pointed out that just because something made it from beta to main does not mean that it's set in stone. Asking for patience from the players as the game's early access stint continues. This patience has already run out, however, as the game has gotten over 8,000 negative reviews in Chinese from April 17th to April 18th. Oh my God, bro. Relax. Holy shit, man. They are not fucking around. It's curious to see just how much ire Slay the Spire 2 has drawn following its wildly successful launch. Well, so here's the thing. Let's go over to Steam. Because, man, I can only imagine how this shit is going down. All right, the Steam forums lately have been a clusterfuck of very interesting information, to say the least. It is right. Yep, there is 54,000 recent reviews, and it's mixed. Damn, this game is getting fucking felted right now. Let's go to discussions, and let's see if we could find anything that's even remotely possible. Now, keep in mind, I don't know if the forums are separated by language. I'm really not too sure, to be honest with you, but I guess we'll find out. Let's see if anybody's complaining about this. Game crashes and Oh, why is the balance so bad? Like, it genuinely feels like a whole different team made this game versus the first game. It's not even close. I know it's early access, but this is just stupid. So you acknowledge it's early access. Okay, that's fine. It's still being balanced. You are literally helping them balance the game right now. True. What in particular do you think is very unbalanced? Name specific things. Translation, I'm bad. Nerf the game. I'm glad there's people out there that have a brain. So is this the same guy, Deadrup? Yes. Okay, so he says, several of the elites and bosses are way too overtuned. There's so many garbage relics that do basically nothing 90% of the time, and the scaling is way too out of whack. I'm at A4 so far, and even at A0, it's so wildly unbalanced. Everyone feels entirely up to luck of the cards of the right bosses. Name specific relics, elites, bosses, and cards. STS1 has already been tuned. STS2 is still in early access. I understand that, but as it stands right now, the game being nearly a month and a half and the devs haven't addressed most of the large issues, I see so many players having issues with it concerning the future of the game. I think the future of the game is going to be just fine, considering how successful it's been, even in early access. But, I digress. Let's see if games are supposed to be fun. Oh, I love this. Here we go. Not taking a side on the new balance update, I just want to say and hope the devs see. Games are supposed to be fun. I love roguelikes, and while I do enjoy difficult challenges, I mostly play them because of the chaotic and broken builds I can make. I really do not think it would be a good idea to remove that quality from a roguelike, the creativity and potential. I think things should be decently challenging, especially the higher ascension you progress to. It would be cool to have some challenge-tied unlocks that tie into the epochs and card variants. Also, a recommendation I have would be to have some way to see your teammates' hand in multiplayer. For example, an icon you could click and your hand turns invisible for you, but anyone you could click or hover, you can see their hand. What's so funny about this is you usually see a lot of people say games are supposed to be fun when they're talking about video games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all these hard video games and whatnot. And they usually use that as an excuse to either allow overpowered builds to stay or to allow like difficulty settings to come into the game when they don't have any. Right? We see this kind of like Trojan horse all the time. But games are supposed to be fun. And since I'm bad at the game, I'm not having fun. And since I don't want to learn how to play the game, I want you to make the game easier so that I can have fun. Yeah, I haven't seen one specific complaint either, Akipavi. All I've seen are just vague references to whatever, just random. They'll just be like, yeah, the game's not fun because of this. This is not fun. I don't like this. Well, you don't like it, but does that mean it's bad? You know, so you see these kind of Trojan horses coming all the time. Let's see. Warning: the game is actively being review bombed exclusively by the Chinese. I wouldn't say exclusively. I would not say exclusively. Well, maybe a little bit. 90% of positive reviews for every other language. Meanwhile, Chinese is at 46% negative. This kind of influencer-inspired brigading is so dumb. Wait, influencer? Influencer is... Wait, what? What do you mean influencer-inspired brigading? What influencer is inspiring the Chinese to go review bomb this game? Bro, people just literally be out here fighting random fucking shadows in their mind. I'm not even kidding. They'll see something going down and they'll be like, it's got to be that influencer that I don't like. Like, who the fuck are you talking about? Do you even know who are you referencing here? Let's continue. Any other to whom it may concern? No. To anyone who thinks the update is good, try Duo just to A10 and prove you can beat it. Don't ask me why I don't invite more people. If the game lets you queue as 2, there should be a way to beat it. No. 2-player co-op seems a bit unbalanced. That is true. I've done a Duo A10 before with Door Maker included. Can you explain to me why the update really has any meaningful impact on duos at the highest difficulty? As the other person said, the duo experience seems to be the hardest to handle. However, none of the changes directly change that experience. So I'm not sure what you're trying to really state here. Oh, so they mad, bro. They flat out suck. Why are people so salty about the update? I truly don't get it. There were a bunch of buffs. The new Door Maker now actually requires some thinking rather than just being a dumb DPS race. A bunch of sweet artwork got added, cool effects for cards and statuses on them. Like, what's not to like? Infinites being nerfed? Well, good riddance to those. Infinites should be something that is rare and special and cool to get rather than a consistent strategy. Is the game too hard? Then why do good players still have high win rates on A10? That's a damn good question. The game is great right now. I don't get the hate. If you think A10 is too hard, then maybe you should keep playing on lower ascensions for a while and get better at the game. I know I'm not a great player by any means, but even I can beat A10, and I don't see why it's not possible for anyone else. So basically what I'm reading and what I'm understanding is that there is a lot of skill problems. Now, I find this highly questionable because everybody, stereotypes, everybody thinks the Chinese, Asian people are amazing at games like this. Clearly not. Clearly there are problems that they're having that they're not liking. But there are some people that are trying to talk some sense over on this little forum over here. Why the new Door Maker kills the motivation to play? What the fuck? Lost a 140-hour profile. You see this shit? This is why I do not play early access games. Because if this were to happen to me, I would rage the fuck out. I would rage the fuck out. I'm not even lying. I remember I was playing Cat Quest and I lost a 6-hour fucking profile. And that was 6 hours. And I said, fuck it. I want to platinum the game. So I played 4 hours and managed to platinum the game in 4 hours versus 6 hours where I was almost done. Because I was so mad. I just speed ran everything that I already did. But imagine losing a 140-hour fucking profile. That would be insane. I would lose my shit. So many people are saying this corrupt saves. I don't know, man. So listen, ultimately, there is a lot of problems that people are having with the game, and the majority of them are coming from the Chinese. They're review bombing the game again, and I don't blame them. You want to know why? Because it worked. It worked before. These developers deserve to get review bombed again because you guys bent the knee to the first review bomb. You guys decided to not stick to your guns and not say trust the process. And you decided to say, you know what, we're sorry, we're going to revert the changes. For what? So now they own you. They completely own you at this point. It's an interesting dilemma. But in terms of player count, let's see if all this noise has affected the player count, aside from the natural player count going down over time. Let's see. I'm going to say no. There is still 281,000 concurrent players playing this game on a daily basis. 281,000 concurrent players. There is 146,919 people playing right now. Fucking insane, boys. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say this has nothing to do with, it's not affecting it in any way. So if I were these developers, I would continue to balance the game, let people get used to it, right? And keep working on the game, the final thing that you want to release. Obviously, you want to listen to feedback. You want to understand what's going on and listen to the real problems. And you also want to fix the issues with the game. Like corrupted save files, that's fucked up. You need to fix that shit. But anything else, yeah, no, fuck that. That's crazy. Never ever played the first game, and I have it. I was playing Slay the Spire, the first one. I like it. It's good. It's a good game.